Hey, no long intros. I'll just start.
It's really crazy when you think about how technology has not only destroyed our minds, but it's expanded them at the same time. Think about back in the days before there was cell phones and even TVs. As far as people were concerned, their town or just their immediate state was the entire world. Like if they never took a road trip or a plane flight anywhere, as far as they were concerned, their little town, their little state was the entire world. You didn't really know about anything else except maybe local news because of like a newspaper because there was no technology, which also made it easier to live because you didn't have to worry about anything else going on in the world, just immediately what was going on around you. It really just makes technology a double-edged sword, how it expanded our minds, but it destroyed them at the same time. A lot of us be stressed out over stuff nowadays that don't even immediately affect us. We be worried about somebody who going through something in a whole other country that ain't got nothing to do with us. And us as humans, we absorb emotions. And these devices allow us to feel people's emotions, even if they're not here with us. Like, this technology shit really crazy, man. This shit really a double-edged sword.
Host at an Airbnb in New Orleans gives you a warning. Listen to it. We'll call her Kate. Kate was staying in town for a business meeting, so she said she was staying at this cute little Airbnb down around the French Quarter. She was alone. She didn't want to stay in hotels. She said she always kind of got the ick in hotels. She felt like they were more dangerous. So she goes to the Airbnb. She had the code to get in, and the host had left her a handwritten note that said, do whatever, just clean up after yourself. But then it also said, do not open the door after midnight for anyone. She thought that they were just trying to be funny because, of the nightlife that's down there. So she kind of didn't pay any mind to it. The first night, everything was fine. The second night at 12:45, she hears a knock at the door, just 3 little knocks. She said they weren't frantic or like loud or anything. They were just like polite, soft knocks. She goes to the door, she looks through the peephole, and she sees this gorgeous guy standing there. She said he was like so good looking. He was pale skin, he had dark hair, the most gorgeous eyes she'd ever seen. He says, "Hey, I'm so sorry to bother you, but I left my phone in here the other day." She was kind of weirded out a little bit because she knew she hadn't had any guests, but she thought maybe it was whoever stayed there before her, but she hadn't seen or heard a phone. He tells her, "Hey, I can tell you where it's at. You can go get it for me. You don't even have to let me in." Then he mumbled something that she didn't really hear. She couldn't hear it through the door. So without thinking, she just cracked the door a little bit. That's when he winked and said, "Thank you. That's all I needed." Then left. Now, personally, this is where Kate loses me because she said it didn't really scare her because he was so good looking. Girl, so was Ted Bundy. She goes,
The Rothschild central bank system is going away. That's the whole purpose of doing it, is to free humanity and all the nation states from this prison.
What is the actual national debt of the United States of America? It's $265 trillion. Do you know what the fire sale of the entire United States is? Everything in it, $193 trillion. This is why nobody wants the dollar, because they know overseas, they know they're already moving to an asset-backed system. Switzerland's always been on one. Okay, England was on one for the longest period of time. They took it off when they joined the EU. They're no longer part of the EU. They're going back to the sterling silver standard. Okay, Russia is going back. China's going gold back. Brazil's going gold back. India is going gold back. Vietnamese dong is going asset-backed using oil. Iraq is going to be asset-backed with gold and oil. So they're all in the process. The issue, sir, is that most people in this room have no idea what's going on because you have to look for it. The media in this country is crap.
It was a Puerto Rican corporation, LLC, that belonged to the Federal Reserve. All monies collected would go to an account at the U.S. Treasury. The U.S. Treasury would then transfer that money to an account in North Carolina that was parked in Bank of America, and then that money would be wired to the Bank of England in the UK. The Bank of England would then notify the Windsors, the royal family, and that money, whatever monies they didn't take out of those trillions of dollars, would then be loaned back to us here in the United States.
Backstage, we have Mr. Chris Tucker, Jackie's co-star in Rush Hour. Chris Tucker.
Been ages. Rush Hour. Crazy.
What's up, Jack?
Sit down, sit down. Chris is here in the Silver Linings Playbook, which premiered last night. He was kind enough to come in and say hello to Jackie. Thank you for being here, Chris.
Thank you.
All right, you must have some stories about Jackie. Anything you want to tell us about working together?
Oh, man. Well, like Jackie was saying, the first time we met, it was kind of strange because, and we used it in the movie because I didn't know if Jackie spoke English or not. And because he didn't say nothing to me the whole time, and we was meeting, you know, about the movie Rush Hour, and the director was there, and the whole meeting, Jackie didn't say nothing. He was just shaking his head and he was like this. And I was like, yeah, and I'm going to do this. And I was talking, I'm going to do this. And I think we should do this and this. And Jackie was like, okay. So after the meeting, me and the director walked out. I said, it was Brad Ratner, the director. I said, do Jackie speak English, man? How are we going to do this movie? He didn't say one word to me. Do he like me? Do he want Wesley Snipes? What do he want, Eddie Murphy? Does he know who I am? They said, yeah, don't worry. He speaks English. Don't you worry. Don't worry. And we actually took that, and he was just filling me out and all that stuff, and we took that and put it in the movie, and that's how you get, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
No. The first time when I see him, he just keep talking. I don't even know one word from your mouth. He was so quick. And by the time I'm translation, whatever I say, Jackie, okay, I just translate Chinese, then here's another word. Let's just keep translation.
Because when I woke up, I saw Pope dies at 88, and then Bitcoin hit 88 like 30 minutes later.
The 88. Okay, so 88, he dies at 88. Now, that's the number of wealth. Going back to Trump, I found something else with Trump. There's a character based off of him. Now, what movie has 88 in it, which has a character based off of it? Back to the Future.
Yeah, I already know where you're going with this.
So in Back to the Future Part 2, what happens is that Biff, he gets the almanac, right? And the almanac, if you guys don't know the movie, the almanac is basically where it shows all the sports findings or all the sports plays and then who wins for the next 50 years.
One of the greatest movies of all time. Continue.
Right. So what happens in the movie that he gets the almanac, he goes back into the past, gives it to himself to win and get rich and have casinos and be all rich and powerful. That's based off of Trump. When he goes back to the future, everything is like a tangent. It's like Biff's future now. Biff's future is where he's all rich and powerful. Now, what speed do you have to go back and forth through time in the movie? 88.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold the phone.
So now, think about this. So now, Trump, which Biff's characters is based off of, he has Biff Tower, like Trump Tower. He has gambling. He has a casino like how Trump does. He's a rich, powerful businessman. He has all these different, he even looks like him. He has the same little wiffle.
It's Trump. Isn't it crazy that Trump there's that whole Trump's the last president, Barron Trump is this time traveler. I honestly didn't piece this together, that you have Barron Trump, who is, there's a book by, who was that?
Ingersoll Lockwood.
Ingersoll Lockwood, who wrote that book about a time traveler named Barron Trump.
Barron Trump's Marvelous Adventure. And it's about a boy who can time travel. He has a mentor named Don.
Come on.
This is written in 1893. So you're telling me a boy named Barron Trump has a mentor named Don. This is over 100 years ago.
How many coincidences do y'all need?
Ingersoll Lockwood writes another book called The Last President, about a president who is anti-system, who is very charismatic, and he disrupts the system as when he takes power, when he takes the POTUS seat. He lives on Fifth Avenue.
Wait.
All this is in the book.
So accurate.
Literally. So the fact that it parallels, and like this guy was like an outsider, becomes president, and becomes the last president because it is a shift, a whole disruption when he becomes president. 2 books that predict exactly who's in power right now: Barron Trump, Donald Trump.
And then you have Back to the Future, that's
Back to
about
the Future.
another time traveler.
Another time traveler.
It's like he's going throughout time and making stories about himself.
This man walked into his garage and found a 5-foot bat hanging upside down, looking like a whole grown man. When I tell you, I would have left not only the garage, the house, the country, okay? This was in Indonesia in 2020. You would have never worried about seeing me in Indonesia ever again. Look at this. Imagine just walking into your garage and seeing this thing over 5 feet tall, just hanging upside down, taking a comfortable nap. It has the face of a fox, but it looks almost human-like because of its size. And when the wings spread, they can be bigger than 5.5 feet tall. You would have never had to worry about seeing me in that country ever again. So these are called golden crown flying foxes, or flying fox bats. And even though they give off Dracula energy, they're actually known to only be gentle fruit eaters. They say when they fly, they emit like a huge shadow in the sky, and even though they're not necessarily dangerous, a lot of cultures consider them spiritual messengers, and if one lands nearby your house, it might mean there's a shift that's going on, and it's not necessarily a positive one. But a lot of people have considered them like a man-bat hybrid based on their size and the way that their face looks so human-like. They even got blamed a couple of years ago for the 2020 pandemic, but there's been no actual correlation to that, and they are an endangered species, and they actually troop in groups, so they actually are known to all be hanging upside down together, which is an absolutely terrifying sight to see. I can only imagine and never want to see personally. But yeah, I didn't know that this existed until recently, and I never want to go anywhere that they are. I just wish them well. Let me know if you've ever heard about them. Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't, save this video, go look into it, come back, let me know what you think. Make sure you like, follow, stay for some more tea. I appreciate y'all's support, and share this so that we can keep this discussion going. Bye.
I am really shocked that we don't even learn this in school. This is some next level stuff, and it was verified to be true. Dr. Masaru Emoto. And what he discovered was, when you speak to the water and you say certain things like, I love you, or, you're my friend.
Or beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Angel. It could be simple, just like angel, happiness, peace. When you say these positive words to the water and then you freeze it, it makes beautiful shapes.
Most of the time they're symmetrical. They look like
you Google images. They have photos of this.
They look like snowflakes, like beautiful symmetrical snowflakes.
Now, when you say mean, nasty words to the water, and then they freeze the water, it would make ugly,
asymmetrical
shapes.
Asymmetrical.
Yeah, like cracks and looks like damage.
Bubbles.
And you basically prove that, like, your consciousness and your will combined with the intention behind your words affects reality. It's like the concept that, like, your words are magic. So much so that you change physical reality.
Yeah, it is quite literally proof that the things that come out of your mouth
change reality,
affect your physical surroundings.
Quite.
So we found out a lot this week on social media about what you eat. Now, when this guy put this video up, talking about how oxtails weren't real, oh boy did it go crazy. He even made a reply video, 2 videos, 50 million views, and the comments were insane. Nobody wanted to believe him, but yeah, they're cow tails. And now they're saying that your crawfish don't come from the ocean.
What does it
don't come from the river.
Wait.
They say it comes from the dirt, out your backyard. I never knew they were called mud bugs either. But, I did think they got caught in the riverbanks, because I've seen them in the riverbanks. But the funny thing is, they're not swimming in the river, they're coming out the mud. I saw a video of a girl, she said that she always knew that they came from the dirt, not the oceans or the rivers, because when it rained, it would always come out the ground in her grandma's backyard. And she said all the neighborhood cats would just come and eat them right out the yard. So they're mud bugs. That's what they call them. They say roaches with claws.
Never
mud
knew
roaches.
What? Look at this. Precious, so thick.
They got her. They got her. I feel like I'm playing Pokemon Go at this point. Gotta catch 'em all. Today we're going to be talking about Hands. And how the F. These are the hands of Khloe Kardashian in 2008. Her hands today, like, how? What is going on here? The media is obsessed with gems and jewelry, so lucky for me, I was able to find several pictures of Khloe Kardashian's hands prior to 2025. And I just find this absolutely wild, but she's not the only one. I also noticed that Hailey Bieber's fingers have changed as well. This is what she and her hands looked like all those years ago. And today, that's crazy to me. It's like all of their hands even have before and afters. Just like Cynthia Erivo. Watch her hands right here. I have never seen someone's hands that long. These hands are otherworldly. Cynthia before, look at her hands. Completely normal sized fingers like you or I. And today, how? And this goes for many celebrities like Angelina Jolie, whose arms and hands never looked like that. Even in the days where her and Bailey Bob Thornton were wearing matching necklaces that were filled with, never mind. I find it interesting that even their arms and hands have before and afters. What do you guys think causes that? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section, because I find this very interesting.
Is it a clone? I will never get a Tesla or an electric vehicle, and this is why. This is by my house. This road is terrible. There's like a deadly crash every month. But what happened was, this was a Tesla, and it was a head-on collision because this road's dumb. And the battery did this thing called like an overrun or something, where it gets super hot and the car just catches on fire. Now the driver and the passenger were in there. They were injured and they were pinned in. They couldn't get out. And the firefighters arrived on time to be able to save them from the car. However, if you have an electric vehicle and it catches on fire, the firefighters cannot go to save you because the battery releases a gas that leaches calcium from your bones. So when an electric vehicle catches on fire, the battery releases a gas that melts your freaking bones. How is this good for the environment? You'll never find me in a Tesla. Just give me that gas car. If anything happens, I'll be rescued. That's just wild. I feel so bad for these people and their families. That's a terrible way to go. And this road's stupid. Basco Road in Livermore / Bay Area needs to do some work. If you live in the Bay Area, for sure, comment on this so that they can know to fix that dang road.
We've got what people are calling dreadlocks, but that's not dreadlocks. That's sacred locks. Dread is a British word that means fear. Okay? So we're all over Africa. All the pharaohs wore their hair locked. That's why they wore the cloth when they went public, to keep it clean. All pharaohs were priests. All priests in all African cultures locked their hair. It was a reference back to ancestors and a time when we didn't have a comb or a brush, and our hair just naturally locked. So that's what the reference back to was. So to become a man in the community of the East African Maasai, you must lock your hair.
Whatever it was, it looked oddly bunched together, like it didn't quite belong there. The person behind the camera probably knows exactly what they saw, but for whatever reason they haven't said much, maybe just to keep the mystery going.
Rips.
Grizzly Gaz, known for his dry humor and love for solo camping, heads out to the woods near Ryburn Reservoir. He's out there chasing a local rumor about a druid altar, one tied to old legends and murky talk of occult rituals. Strange noises at night aren't anything new to Gaz, but this time he stumbles into something way more disturbing than just the usual forest creatures. Published on May 4th, 2025, the video starts off light and casual, with Gaz setting up his gear and going over his hiking plan. But things quickly take a turn once he heads deeper into the more remote parts of the forest.
There it is over there. Geese again. The eyes down there.
This odd hour, alone in the woods. What reason or adventure are you searching for? Crazy.
There it is, look, the tent.
Earth is not our planet. Mars was. I know that sounds wild, but let me walk you through it. Long ago, Mars wasn't the dry, dead rock you see now. It was alive, civilization, life, cities. But then something happened. Something so big, so loud, it ended everything. They don't tell you this, but Mars shows signs of nuclear activity. Look up Xenon 129. It's a gas. On Earth, it only appears after a nuclear explosion. But guess what? It's also found on Mars. So here's what might have gone down. Massive war, nukes. Mars got wiped. But a few escaped. A few got out in time, and they came here to Earth. They had to start all over. No tech, no buildings, just survival. That's why we think we evolved here. We didn't. We restarted here. You know how people say we're the aliens? Well, maybe we are. Not little green men, but travelers, refugees. We left our home behind, not by choice, but to survive.
This is just a theory, not a fact.
My favorite fraud that I ever defended was a group of Nigerians. You know how to make a Nigerian omelet, right?
How?
Well, first you get a credit card. Sorry. It's a joke, but it's a good joke. So these Nigerians were going to hospitals and identifying information from hospitals and then applying en masse for tax returns with the IRS. And just making up numbers, and there was like $400 million in fraudulent tax returns that they got back by just making up numbers. And the beauty of it is they received $400 million, and they went to a strip joint. Of course, that's where you go after you steal $400 million from the government. It's I think it's the law. I think you have to go to a strip joint after you make that kind of money, and brought one, Sheba, Angel, Detsy, Bambi, whatever the lovely young entertainer was, back to the motel, and got in a fight with the stripper about how much she was going to earn for her private dancing, and the laws got called because the Nigerian and Sheba got in a fight, and they came in and they saw all the computers, and here we go. So they lost it all, ended up doing 15, 20 years because they got in a fight with a stripper. What a country.
The newest batch of Disney Channel stars grown in the Disney Genetic Engineering Lab will be unveiled to the public.
Right. Now, Tracy, most of our viewers are already familiar with a lot of the products that have come out of the Disney Lab. Yes, but how exactly do you create a Hilary Duff or a Miley Cyrus from scratch? Joining us live from the Disney Lab is one of their lead geneticists, Dr. Andrew Rourke. Welcome, Dr. Rourke. There's quite an operation you've got going on out there.
Thanks, Jim. So the stars that we see on TV are actually grown right here?
That's correct. They're grown and developed here. We engineer their brains for advanced singing and dancing capabilities, even posing for photos. By the time they grow to desired size, these child stars are fully ready for the camera or the concert tours or whatever Disney chooses to put them in. We use the exact same DNA structure for all of our stars, then we simply tweak minor details like hair color or skin tone.
Oh, now this one's Zac Efron. I've seen him before.
Yes, Zac was actually one of our earliest models.
My daughters love him. I mean, he looks so real.
Actually, I think we could have done a better job with Zac. He could show more human tendencies. If you look closer, you'll notice there's a certain deadness around the eyes.
I do see that, yeah.
I'm sorry, it's hard for me to watch because all I see is all my mistakes.
Well, he seems flawless to me.
There was a bug in that first batch, and as a result, Zac's skin will soon begin to dissolve.
Crazy. And we've come to the end of today's video. Crazy videos, I must say, but I enjoyed watching and learning new things. So yeah, we've come to the end. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace.